Crimson Trace announces Laser Guard Pro for today's most popular concealed carry firearms, combining a red or green laser sight with 150 lumen light, taking personal defense to the next level. Available now at your local dealer.
#1 national voice in defense of your Second Amendment rights. Gun Talk, available on iTunes and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for Android and iPhone. To be on the air with Tom, call us now, 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
Let's continue the conversation. Tom Gresham here. The number is 866-TALK-GUN. The conversation being basically preparedness, taking care of yourself. I don't care if that's a gun or a system or water or food or medical supplies in your car. I'm down here in South Louisiana. We're watching all these folks. It's terrible what's going on. Maybe could be 60,000 homes damaged, maybe more. In the Baton Rouge, Denham Springs area, not very far from where I'm sitting right now, they had 30 inches of rain in a day. There's not a storm system anywhere that can handle that. Just can't do it. You're getting put out of your house. People are showing up, though. I tell you, the Cajun Navy shows up, man. There's people in boats. They just come in and picking people up. Oh, yeah, by the way, Baton Rouge, of course. Let me just go political on you for just a second. Where we had the race-based marches. We'll let it go at that. Nobody's asking the race or the color of anybody they're rescuing. It's just people. People need help. You jump in. You've seen the video, the guy jumping in the water, pulling the lady out of the car that's just about to sink. We don't care. Cajun Navy shows up. We do what we have to do. We know how to take care of people around here. I'm always talking to you about deciding who you want to be. Who are you? Are you the person who is prepared? Are you the person who will help not just yourself, but others, your family? And yeah, a willingness is one thing, but a willingness without preparation really doesn't set you up for success. I mean, you might be able to do some things, but you have to decide now and prepare now for the thing that may be coming. And the weird part here, I guess this is where I keep talking about mindset. You have to be comfortable spending money and time and effort, and maybe you never use it. Maybe you never need that stuff. And you have to be able to do that and never look back and say, wow, that was silly. Or I really didn't need to do that. No. You can't let yourself go there. You always be, yep, that was the thing to do. Never you needed it, that's fine. If I needed it, I would have had it. Along those lines, things have changed. We have technology now that we couldn't even imagine only a few years ago. Things that can help you as we go out. We're hunters, we're fishermen, we're sightseers, we're bird watchers, we're in national parks, we're globetrotters, we're all over the place. Joining me right now is Sean Lewis. He's a sales manager at Globalstar, which, by the way, just happens to be just down the street from where I'm sitting at the moment now. Hey, Sean, how you doing?
I'm very well. How are you, Tom?
Excellent. I got to tell you a quick story. Back some 30 years ago almost now, I was in Alaska. And way back then, we didn't have GPS. And I used to carry around a little pocket aircraft ELT just in the hopes that if I got stranded somewhere or chewed on by a bear or something, I would set that thing off and maybe a plane flying overhead would hear it and report it, and maybe somebody could find me. Of course, then now they got to start the search. We are light years ahead now with what you guys have, aren't we?
Absolutely. So company I'm from is Spot. We're funded by Globalstar. We actually shot up our own satellite constellation, and now we have communications, SOS, all kind of stuff going through satellites to help hunters, help anybody that wants it have the ability to be rescued or to contact their loved ones when they're in distress.
Okay, now the spot, by the way, the website is findmespot.com. What exactly, I see different units there. What can we do with something like this?
Sure. So the Gen 3 is our most popular item. We're now in our third generation of it. You can actually send messages back home to say, hey, I'm doing okay. I need some help. Can you come get me? Anything you want to do, you just have to put them into the computer before you go out. It's up to 10 people. You also have an SOS button where you hit that. We're going to send out people to come help you, whether it's the ranger for a park or wherever you're at. We're going to send them out to you. Mm-hmm. And then we also have a tracking system where your loved ones can actually watch you on their computer or on their cell phone whenever they want. They can just pull it up, see exactly where you are at all times. So it's a great tool for any hunter outdoorsman to have. It's top of the line to be able to see your loved ones out there while they're doing that kind of stuff.
It's leaving a breadcrumb trail, and if you don't come home for some reason, they can just go online and see the breadcrumb trail and say, all right, went to here, it stopped right there. Now we know where at least to go look. Exactly.
It starts off at 10-minute intervals. You can't get it down to 5 and 2.5-minute intervals. But I mean, just having that baseline for if there is an emergency where you can't hit the SOS button, we can send people out to your last location and come and help you. So there's a lot of different ways that this product can help people that are out in the wilderness.
Well, we just had a deal like that happen in Wyoming, a Powell, Wyoming man. Just look at this article here. He had one of your units, didn't he?
We had a rescue out in Wyoming in the South Fork region. We had a gentleman and his girlfriend out on horseback. They were scouting for elk. And the gentleman had his .45 long Colt holstered, and he was riding, and his lead rope off of his horse got tangled around it and actually discharged the weapon, and it went through his leg. Now he's far off into the wilderness, so there wasn't much he could do other than wrap it. But he did have a spot with him. He was able to hit the button, and we sent somebody out and helicoptered him out of there, and he turned out all right.
So this thing, obviously, it's working off of GPS, and so it's got GPS signal, but also, and I guess the key thing here is, unlike cell phones, it's directly communicating with your satellite. So if you've got a view of the sky, you can communicate.
Correct. So we use the GSM satellites for your location, and then we use our own satellite constellation that we shot up ourselves to actually send that message to the satellite, then back down to a ground unit, and then to wherever it needs to go. Whether it needs to go to our emergency group that will send out the correct person, or if it needs to go to your loved ones that you want to send a message to your wife, say, hey, I got a deer, I'm going to be out a little bit longer. It just keeps you in contact with the world while you're out doing what you love.
Amazing. And you got different things. Now, I know you have to buy the unit. Is there a service fee, a monthly fee, or something like that involved?
Yes. So the unit is normally at stores, it's going to be about $150, and then the base price for the service for a year is $150. Which, if you look at it, it's almost nothing. If it's going to save your life or keep you in contact with people, it's very affordable. For any
it's $12 a month. I mean, you can't buy lunch at McDonald's for two people for that.
I know. In this day and age, you're right. So, I mean, people that take advantage of it, I mean, you put it in your pack, and then when you need it, you have it. I mean, it's investing in your well-being. It's investing in your family. It's investing in so much more than just a tracking device.
And the other thing is, you can give it to any member of your family. If somebody says, "Well, I'm going out, Dad. I'm going to be out. Just here, take the spot with you. Take this thing with you."
Exactly. We have a lot of parents that they're sending their kids off to school right about now. They're going to stuff that spot on their right on their front dash while they're driving to school, so they can watch them go there. Or if their son or daughter are going out in the woods and they're taking a day hunting, where you can't be with them, you give it to them. You have constant contact with them. You're able to actually see exactly where they are.
There you go. Peace of mind. Exactly. All right. The website is Find Me Spot, right? FindMeSpot.com. Hey, Sean, thank you so much. It's I'm such a believer in preparedness. I love the idea behind this.
Thank you, sir.
All righty. You take care. There you go. You can also track your teenager. Yeah, they'll figure that one out. So, what do you think? What do you carry with you? Anything? Preparedness? Also, question on the floor. If you had to take one rifle for hunting and everything else in North America, what would it be? What caliber? What rifle? Got some interesting thoughts on that. I'll share mine when we come back. 866-TALK-GUN.
You spent the entire morning in a blind, waiting for your shot. Then, missed it and spooked all the big game for miles. Every hunter dreams about the one that got away, and at SilencerShop.com, we make dreams come true. Shooting suppressed means there's no big bang, no violent recoil, and no watching your prize get away because you couldn't get off a follow-up shot. Want a trophy mount on your wall? Put a can on your rifle from SilencerShop.com. Making the world a quieter place.
Hi, this is Tom Gresham from Gun Talk. America is losing critical wildlife habitat at a rate of one football field every hour. It's happening on the Louisiana coast, but it's critical to all sportsmen and conservationists. These precious wetlands provide winter habitat for more than 10 million ducks and geese annually, waterfowl that migrate north through dozens of states. Don't shrug it off. Get involved. You can help. Visit vanishingparadise.org.
Laser sights are an essential firearms training tool, improving the skill level of the shooter by enhancing proper fundamentals like sight alignment and trigger control, and providing life-saving practices that can be depended on in moments of crisis. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our laser training video, The Laser's Edge, and learn why Crimson Trace is making laser sights standard equipment.
The Black Hills. There's nothing like it on Earth. The kind of place where characters become legends. Wild Bill Hickok, Crazy Horse, Calamity Jane. Pick any part of the world and you'll find people go there to make it their own. But this is where people come to get made. This is the place that made the people who make the best ammo on Earth. Black Hills Ammunition.
All righty, back with you. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. Lots of folks want to chat, and you can be part of that. Let's see here. Line 4, Randy is out of Mayville, North Dakota. Hey, Randy.
Hey, Tom. Say that guy had that list of complete preparation. The most critical thing is gallons of water. You can't have enough water.
Yes. I would say have some water with you, but also have something that will help you purify water. There are some really good drinking straws and pitchers that you can pour, like even muddy water into them, and they will just flow through and you'll get drinkable water out of it, because you're not going to be able to carry enough water to last for days. But yes, I absolutely agree. 2 or 3, 1 gallon jugs. And look, thanks for the call. One of the things that people need to know, we learned this the hard way. The plastic that they use for bottled water, whether it's the little individual size or the gallon jugs, are made to be biodegradable now. What that means is if you buy a whole bunch of 1 gallon jugs of water, and you plan to take them out to the range and shoot them for television, and they sit there for a year, when you come back, they will be all squishy and the floor is going to be wet because they're breaking down on you. So figure these have about a 3-month realistic lifespan unless you're going to transfer them into some kind of long-term storage container, which may be a thing to do, and there are a lot of those for sale. By the way, I think Brownells now has a website that is for preparedness. I think if you just start on the Brownells website, BROWNELLS.com, and they'll have a link to that. I can't remember what the name of that is, but pretty nice. Also, I would suggest, it's going to sound like we're getting into the paranoia world, but it's really not. I would suggest that you put up some food. I bought a couple of boxes of was it Wise Foods, WISE, and they just sell these big boxes and say, this is enough food for 2 people for 2 weeks or for 4 people for a month or whatever. And the life on that is 25 years, and just buy it, put it away, forget it. Will you ever need it? Unlikely. If you need it, it's kind of like that gun that you hope you'll never need. If you need it, you're really going to need it badly. Just saying, it might be something. Benny's on line 3 out of Corpus Christi, Texas. 1 caliber gun. What do you think, Benny?
Hey, good afternoon, good sir Tom. I'm telling you what.
Yes.
Okay, the Ruger Gun Sight Scout Rifle in 308.
Yep.
It is the end-all, be-all, you know. And if you stumble across one in your bounty there that might be in, right-hander, just throw it at me and I'll be sure to catch it.
Well, I made sure that I got one of the left-handed ones, because what I have learned is when they bring them out in left-handed, you better grab one, because you never know how long it's going to stay in the line. And because I shoot from the left shoulder, I shoot handguns right-handed and long guns left-handed. I made sure I got a left-handed Ruger Scout Rifle in 308. I am right there with you, brother. I'll tell you. Detachable box magazine. You could get different size magazines for it. It's a bolt action. It's simple. I've shot them out to, 500 or 600 yards. No problem there at all. You could also shoot them at 4 feet. Why would you want to do that, Tom? Home defense gun. That would work just fine. A low power, like a 1 to 4, 1 to 6 power variable scope on that thing. Oh yeah, ammo, incredible. You can get ammo anywhere. You can also get, I was just looking on the Double Tap website. They've got I think it's 120 grain Hornady VMAX bullet in there, basically a varmint bullet. It would be a great home defense rig. Also light recoiling, because it's a lighter bullet. And then, of course, you could shoot up to 180 grain bullets. Benny, do you have one of these, or are you just looking for one?
I'm dreaming about one. Like you were talking about the Wise brand food storage, I can't afford that, so I freeze beans and rice in a bag and then put them in food storage buckets. Well, I can't really afford yet that Gun Sight 308, so I've kept my Brit Enfield 303 all these years.
That's where the idea came from. You know that, don't you?
Yes, sir. And it's a fantastic old rifle. That flip-up sight that I've got on her is still pretty accurate.
Well, and of course, these days, you've got some pretty interesting options with, Mossberg's got them, Ruger American Rifle. There are a lot of $350 new rifles available with detachable box magazines. Get those in 308. And yeah, I know we could talk about the 6.5 Creedmoor and all the rest of them, but you can get 308 ammo anywhere. And if you needed to shoot a moose or something, I like the 308 for that. So you're thinking the same way I am. I was thinking that a Gun Sight Ruger Scout Rifle in 308 is probably the way to go. So I love the way you're thinking. Thank you, Benny. I appreciate that. Let's see. Bruce is in Lewiston, Idaho on 1. Hey, Bruce, you're up.
Got a range for us today, Tom. I've been a double-action revolver shooter for decades, and I've always used speed loaders, not just for convenience and trying to be fancy, but it makes it easy and makes it fun. HKS has been putting out fine products, and I've got dozens of them. We had the unfortunate experience here of having one of our major sporting goods stores close, and as they were doing the closeout on the inventory, I cleaned off one section of that HKS rack and bought everything I could in a particular model.
Really?
One or two of the packages showed evidence of having been tampered. That somebody opens them up, looks at it, and brings it back. Or maybe opens it up and leaves it there on the shelf, never bought it in the first place. Anyway, I brought them all home and opened all the packages before I tested any of them. One of them was damaged, and it said lifetime warranty. I wrapped it up, put it in an envelope, and sent it back to HKS and explained to them that this was a store closing out their inventory, and I couldn't guarantee that this product came out of that package and it was opened when I bought it. And they've got a lifetime warranty. By return mail, they sent me 2 brand new ones. This was 2-for-1 replacement. I love it. Anyway, a thank you to HKS, and thumbs up for good manufacturers.
There you go, Bruce. Well, look, I appreciate you passing that along. It is so often that I hear that. People say, well, I had this gun and I had a problem with it and I sent it back and they really didn't owe me anything. I had it for a long time. And then they get either the gun back repaired or they actually get the gun replaced. Like HKS sends you back 2 speed loaders to replace the one that didn't work. And why would they do that? Well, let's see. Bruce just called a national radio show and said how good HKS treated him. So other people are going to go, wow, I kind of like that. That's what I'm looking for. That's why they do that. Number one, it's the right thing to do, but number two, it's smart. And the other thing, and I would just say this, generally speaking, most of the companies in the firearms industry were started by and are owned by and run by people who love the shooting sports. They don't want you to have a product that doesn't work. Even if they didn't sell it to you, that just galls them. This has got to work. We make good stuff. So they stand behind it. They're not making doodads and radios and gizwizzies or whatever. They're making guns and accessories and things that go bang. And they love it. That's why they got into it in the first place, whether it's Jeff Hoffman at Black Hills Ammo, because he's got a passion for it, or Mike McNett making ammo, or HKS, or the people who run even the big companies. Ruger, Chris Calloy, he's going to be the new CEO there. He's a shooter. Because they're shooters, they're going to take care of other shooters. Great industry, great industry. It's a great time for all of us. 866 Talk Gun.
Gun Talk encourages you to support the local sporting goods store, gun stores, ATV dealers, and other local businesses in your area who advertise on this station and Gun Talk. Only together can we protect our rights. You're listening to Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
All right, back with you. Lots of folks want to call in. Let's talk. Line 2, Warren's in Pelican Rapids, Minnesota. Hey, Warren.
Yes, I heard on your show before about that executive order Obama signed about gunsmiths. Did he actually sign that?
It's actually what it is. It's a State Department guidance that they put out. It basically says that gunsmiths now are required to be licensed as firearms manufacturers. I mean, it's stupid on the face of it. It costs them more than $2,000 a year for a gunsmith to be a manufacturer. This would be somebody who threads a barrel or trues up an action on a gun, any kind of, or even stipples or checkers metal. I mean, they said if you're cutting into metal, you're a gun manufacturer. You know what? That's like saying that the guy who works in your car is an automaker. It makes no sense. Well, here's where we are. And I'm glad you called because we need to get this word out. The NSSF has sent a letter to the State Department, basically opposing this. But more than that, what we need to do is call our representatives and our senators. Got a couple of phone numbers, but actually all you got to do is just look up, Google, whatever you use, how to call, not email, call your U.S. representatives. And when you call, they'll say, where do you live? And then they'll get you to the right one. But the representatives are 202-225-3121, and senators are 202-224-3121. And what you want is to tell them to support Representative Colin Peterson's resolution, which is House Resolution 829. That's 829. That's House Resolution 829. And we can put a stop to this. I'm glad you asked, but we're fighting it. But what we need now, this really, really needs to come through Congress. And that only happens if we raise a stink. So we need everybody to call the representatives and senators and have them push for support for House Resolution 829. Thank you for that call. I really appreciate that, Warren. Let's see. Line 4, Stephen, Albuquerque, New Mexico. What'd you get here, Stephen?
Yes. Hello, Tom. I have a question regarding an inheritance of 2 pistols from the Civil War era, Colt M1860, I believe it's 44, Remington New Model Army 44. And my attorney believes that I have to have the guns sent to a licensed gun dealer instead of directly to my home. I did some talking with some people, and they think that anything before 1898 is considered an antique, and he should just be able to send them to me in a regular box to my home instead of to a gun dealer, to a shop. What do you think?
Your friends are correct. Your attorney is not. Yes, according to the ATF, if you would care to look it up, it's right there, the definition of antique. It's an antique firearm. Any firearm, including any firearm with a matchlock, flintlock, percussion cap, or similar type ignition system, manufactured in or before 1898. Let's see. 22222 is not readily available. Basically, it says those are antiques, and antiques can be shipped directly to you. So your friends are right. Ignore your attorney. It'll save you some money.
That sounds great. I appreciate it. I'll talk to him tomorrow. He's 5 states away, and he's been waddling around on this for about 3 months now.
Well, who has the guns?
My attorney, the law office in Indiana.
Oh. So your attorney has the guns.
Yes, they're in the safe, as he told me.
Well, here's the problem then. Your attorney simply is smarter than everybody else, so he's not going to listen to you anyway.
Oh, okay.
I mean that's the reality. If somebody responsible owned the guns, and yes, I have some friends who are attorneys, and they'll understand. If they would actually do what they're supposed to do. In this case, you may have to tell your attorney to look it up, what the definition of antique is, and how antique guns can be shipped. And, of course, the problem is then he's going to bill you for that time, or bill somebody for the time. You may end up just saying, look, just bite the bullet and send them to a dealer here. So it's going to cost a few dollars to send them, and then a dealer's going to charge you $20 or something to run them through the paperwork. The thing is, there are no serial numbers on these guns. They didn't put serial numbers on back then.
Oh.
So,
I have a SN, and then I have a 5-digit number for both of these.
Okay, well, then maybe they did. And some of them, they didn't put them on back then, and some of them they did. So maybe they have serial numbers. Either way, they're still antiques, and it is perfectly legal. You cannot mail them, by the way. If they're handguns, you cannot mail handguns, but you can you can ship them UPS or FedEx. My guess is that because he went to law school and you didn't, he won't pay any attention to you whatsoever, but it's worth a shot and tell him, look, the law says they're antiques and you can ship antiques directly to me. So this is what I am instructing you to do. If you are not willing to do that, then send me something in writing that tells me what you looked up that says that antiques do not qualify. Make him go to work on it. Make him show himself to be wrong. I wish you luck with it, my friend. I hope it works out for you. Let's go talk to Bob on line 3. Bob, I hear you've got something to tell me.
I got a joke for you, Tom. It's along the lines of Spot, which I think is an awesome product there. But, okay,
there's a couple of hunters, and this landowner gave him permission to hunt on his land. He's got about 1,000 acres. And he says, listen, I know every inch of my land. If you guys get in trouble, just fire 3 shots up in the air, and it'll take me at the most a half hour to get to you, and I'll come get you. They said, okay. They went off to go hunting. Well, about 5 o'clock in the afternoon or so, they realized, you know what, we're lost. When he says, well, one hunter says to the other, he says, well, landowner said, shoot 3 shots up in the air. Go ahead. So he did. About a half hour later, no sign of the landowner. He said, what the heck? So about another 45 minutes, he says, you know what, you better try it again. So he fired another 3 shots up into the air. No sign of the landowner. Now it's about 10 minutes before dark. And the one hunter says, he says, you know, we got no choice. It's getting dark. You better just shoot 3 more times up in the air. And the other hunter says, I can't. I'm all out of arrows.
I love it. Well, thank you, Bob. I appreciate that. Well, that's a good one. I actually have some experience with that, and I was not archery hunting. I was stuck deep in the woods. I mean, stuck, buried a truck in Alabama out deer hunting, and had, before cell phones, no way to call anybody, way out. But I knew these guys were at the camp about a mile away. So I got my gun out and fired 3 shots in the air. Nobody came. No kidding, really. Just like the joke. 3 shots in the air, nobody came. So finally I walked all the way back in. They said, well, yeah, we heard you shoot. We just thought you were, really onto something out there, having a heck of a good hunt. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. I think maybe the spot's the better way to go. 866-TALK-GUN.
The XDM 3.8 Compact from Springfield Armory is 2 guns in 1. Use as your concealed carry gun with a compact magazine and use the extended magazine for home defense. Carry 13 rounds of 9mm in the compact magazine and a whopping 19 rounds in the extended magazine. To see the entire family of Springfield Armory XDM pistols, go to SpringfieldArmory.com. That's SpringfieldArmory.com.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
Experts agree that the low-range variable rifle scope is best for most situations. Now, Trijicon offers a stunning 1-to-6 power variable in the AccuPoint line. Featuring a battery-free illuminated reticle, superior glass clarity, and rugged construction, it's the one scope you need for hunting and competition. Long eye relief, aircraft-grade aluminum housing, manual brightness override. See the 1-to-6 power AccuPoint at Trijicon.com. Trijicon.com.
All right, back with you. Let's go to line 1. Jared's with us out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Hey, Jared, how you doing with the floods, man?
Hey, Tom, the flood, well, not too good, but I got a question. I had a lot of rifle ammunition, handgun ammunition, and shotgun ammunition that stayed underwater during the flood. It's wet. The boxes are wet. What should I do? Can I use it? Do I have to get rid of it, or?
It's hard to know. First of all, you got to take it out of the boxes because the boxes will just keep them wet. You got to get all the rounds loose. You got to get them out and dry them out.
Correct.
If you dry them out, chances are they're going to be okay.
Uh-huh.
But There's no guarantees.
There's always that but.
Yeah, that's not sealed. It's military ammo is sealed. They have a lacquer around the case mouth and the bullet, and also a lacquer on the primer, and they're sealed. But our ammo, civilian ammo, is not. You don't know what you're going to get. How much ammo are we talking about? A whole bunch?
How about 13,000 rounds?
That's what I was afraid of.
That's a lot. I've been collecting ammo over the last 10 years.
And for those who say, well, gee, why would you do that and keep it on the floor where it floods? Well, let me just tell people, these were areas that had never flooded before.
Correct.
It's not like this is a place that gets flooded all the time. It never happened before. Nobody's ever seen anything like this here.
Yeah, correct. Some of it I had up high enough that's dry, but there's a lot of it in ammo cans and stuff that was in a closet on the floor and 5 feet of water in the house,
Right. Yeah, what are you going to do? My son Ryan lost his house in Katrina, same deal, and all the ammo and all of his guns. We had 12 feet of water in the house. So it's toast.
Some of my guns got damp, some of my handguns got damp, but we have a gunsmith down the road that's going to cut people a special deal on cleaning.
Oh, that's great. I would probably, Jim makes a good point. I would probably not use this ammo for self-defense. I would use it out at the range. I don't think it's going to be dangerous. You may just have some that don't go off. But I know if you got 12,000 rounds, you're keeping it. But now, you know what this means? You have to go shoot it all. So there you go.
Sounds like it's going to be a fun month.
There you go. But really, you got to get it out of the cans. You've got to lay all of that out somewhere where it can dry before you just put it back up. Shotgun shells in cardboard boxes. The boxes are probably toast anyway. But you've got to get them out of there because they'll just sit there and the brass, bottoms of the shotgun shells will rust. Everything will rust if you don't get it dry. Oh, yeah. By the way, do not put something like WD-40 or an oil on them because that can seep into the primer pockets and that will kill the powder.
I've heard that before. Yeah, I agree.
Yep. Okay. I wish you luck, Jared, man. We're thinking of you. I've been collecting clothes and everything I can get. I went down to the store. I went down to Sam's Club and filled up the back of my SUV and spent a ton of money, and we got it to the collection agencies, and we're sending all we can and doing what we can do. Man, you're in my thoughts.
And I appreciate your talk show. I listen to you every chance I get. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it very much. Y'all take care.
You take care. You guys be strong, man. Whew. Tough stuff. Line 2, Stephen's with us out of California. Hey, Stephen.
Hello. Thanks for taking my call, Tom. I hear a lot of people saying that they don't want to vote for Trump or, and going to do a spite vote for the Green Party or the Libertarians. And we have 4 Supreme Court justices that can barely fog a mirror. And the next president's going to choose any number of them. And anybody who thinks that Hillary is, when she says she's not going to take away your guns, we know how truthful she is. So we know she's a liar. Right. So don't believe her and vote for somebody who's going to honor the Constitution and the Supreme Court.
Well, in Maryland, in April, Chelsea Clinton promised that her mom would appoint to the Supreme Court justices who would overturn past decisions that struck down gun control laws. Now, what they didn't tell you, what the media won't tell you, is that the laws they're talking about striking down was a complete ban on guns in Washington, D.C. So we had a gun ban that was struck down, and now she's saying we're going to undo that one. You're exactly right, Stephen. This election is about the Supreme Court. You got to get over everything else. You got to, as I tell people, get over yourself. It's not about that. It's about the Supreme Court. It's about the next 40 years. It's about 100 lower court judges, the lower federal courts, where most cases go to die. They're decided by the lower courts and never make it to the Supreme Court. So you don't even think about those judges. You put in judges there that don't like the Second Amendment. They strike it down. They decide these cases, and they never get accepted to the Supreme Court. So it's over. The election is about the Supreme Court. That's just it. That's the reality of it. You know, it's a good thing that we don't have open mics during the breaks and you couldn't hear what we just talked about. And no, I'm not going to tell you. So there you go. Line 3, Joe's with us in Shreveport, Louisiana. Hello, Joe. What happened?
Hey, Tom. Man, Range Report. Went and got some more training. You're always emphasizing training. And, man, I just can't agree more heartily. I was fortunate back when Blackwater was functioning that I was able to take a course up there. Well, one of the instructors that I have or had is now teaching classes down around Conroe, Texas. And so I got to go down and train with him again. And I took a couple of buddies who shoot, but they never had any formal instruction. And one of them has NRA certification as an instructor. And he came away saying, you know, I thought I knew how to shoot. And you've been around these instructor guys like Tony Reeves. That just every time you think you've got it mastered, they show you something new. And that's the reason.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to tell you this. This is my opportunity to make a lot of people mad, Joe. If you want to hear really experienced instructors laugh, tell them you've got an NRA certified instructor certificate.
Right.
It's like the worst people we've had on first-person defender, with one exception, in terms of being able to handle themselves, were concealed carry instructors or NRA instructors. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. It is the lowest common denominator for instructors, and it is not much. To your point, well, the guys you took to this? How did they come away from this? They were changed, weren't they?
Oh, stunned, absolutely stunned. And I tell you, in 2 training periods, from the beginning morning to the ending evening, the second day, everybody was a better shooter, without question. It was unbelievable.
You know, but more than being a better shooter, they had their minds changed, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we were at a place called Thunder Gun Range. It was a nice range, and Tony Reeves is just a prince of a fella and just an artisan when it comes to handling the pistol.
And there are a lot of guys like that. Just up the road from Conroe there in Nacogdoches, Texas, you've got
Paul Howe.
Paul Howe right there, yeah. This is a guy who was there at Black Hawk down at Somalia. He was one of the guys in the middle of all that. And you can go train with Paul Howe in East Texas. That's just unbelievable. So
you come away always saying, I didn't know what I didn't know. There's so much to learn.
So much to learn, and that's why once you start, I know people get tired of us talking about this, Joe, but once you start, you realize, I have to get more of this. This is a gold mine, and it's available to us. We can go take these classes, and we can get at least a little bit of the knowledge that Uncle Sam spent millions of dollars training these people, to give us. And it's amazing. You walk away, you go, all the time, you're going, I never thought of that. I had no idea. I didn't know what I didn't know. And I don't care how many times you go, somebody's going to be able to train you up and make you better. Man, Joe, I appreciate that. That is a great range report. Congratulations on making the commitment, because it is that. It's time and it's money. It's time and it's money. And people go, well, I don't know. I know. It's time and it's money. I get it. But do something. Look, we've got DVDs. Go to our website, shopguntalk.com. They're not expensive. You could at least start with that. Yeah, it's not exactly training, but it exposes you to it. You go, okay, they got concealed carry DVDs. You got, gunfighting DVDs. At least start there and you go, okay, wow, there is stuff here. Then you go find you an instructor. Make the commitment to figure out what kind of person you want to be. Are you the prepared person? Or are you the person who says, what happened? Gee, I wish I could have done something about it. Make up your mind of who you're going to be, okay? If you're on hold now, don't go anywhere. We're going to get to you in the after show. In the meantime, everybody else, be safe.